end of the pandemic. Drug companies, however, say it's unfair. Now the idea of waiving patent protections is in the hands of the World Trade Organization.
This negotiation at the World Trade Organization could take weeks, even months. The last time that there was a waiver in 2003, it took 8 months of negotiations. But even if that happens, there's still a huge gap here. The rest of the world doesn't know how to produce these vaccines. So U.S. companies would have to step in and transfer their technology.
ABC's Connor Finnegan, pharmaceutical company, said giving away that intellectual property is unfair. Secretary of State Antony Blinken meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Ukraine wants increased military aid and support for NATO membership. At a joint press conference after their talk in Kiev, Secretary Blinken says the president really hasn't been able to discuss those things face to face because of COVID.
We'll be testing the proposition soon when the president makes his first trip. He's been in office for more than 4 months, and we, of course, have not yet had the opportunity to travel, but we'll be doing that soon.
President Biden will be going to another state today to talk about his $2 trillion infrastructure plan.
The president will meet with Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards to discuss disaster preparedness and recovery before he heads to New Orleans to talk infrastructure. Deputy White House Press Secretary Chris Marr.
The water plant there is working off turbines that are over a century old. The people of Louisiana deserve better than that.
President Biden's infrastructure plan includes over $100 billion to upgrade the country's drinking water and sewer systems. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney calling on members of her party to choose truth and fidelity over the Trump ideology. She says in a Washington Post op-ed she will not perpetuate the lie there was voter fraud in the last election. You're listening to ABC News.
Paid for by GovMint.com.
The 1920 to 1938 Buffalo nickel, a true American classic and one of the most iconic coins in history. It's been more than 80 years since the last Buffalo nickel coin was struck. But now, for a limited time only, full 1-pound bags of original U.S. government-struck Buffalo nickels are being released to the public. That's right, you can own a full pound of 1920 to 1938 classic American Buffalo nickel coins, all in very good collector condition, with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-979-7267 now to secure a full pound of collector's grade U.S. Buffalo nickels struck during the Roaring '20s and the Great Depression. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack valued at over $10, free with every order. Call now, 1-800-979-7267 to secure your full pound bag of Buffalo nickels before they're gone. 1-800-979-7267. That's 1-800-979-7267.
Protests in Atlanta last night after a police officer fired after shooting and killing a black man was reinstated to the force. An oversight board found that Officer Garrett Rolfe was fired without due process. He's still on leave as he faces murder charges in the shooting last summer of Rayshard Brooks outside a Wendy's restaurant. A California bar owner accused of selling fake COVID vaccine cards for $20 a pop is now facing several felony charges. Prosecutors say undercover agents were able to buy the cards several times at the Old Corner Saloon about 35 miles outside of Sacramento. Another push to combat vaccine hesitancy, the mayor of Lancaster, California, is offering a chance to win scholarships to teenagers who get COVID shots. Mayor Rex Parris explains.
There would be a $10,000, $5,000, and $1,000 scholarship available. Those are the prizes. And it'll be any 16, 17, and 18-year-old who gets vaccinated. That's the initial threshold to be eligible.
Two teenagers in California, twin sisters, don't need that. They have all the scholarships they can handle.
From searching on the internet, we was like, okay, we definitely have over 200 offers. Right now, we definitely looks like we're setting the world record right now.
Janisha Caldwell and her sister, Destiny, they have received more than $24 million in scholarship offers from schools around the world. They both plan to go to UCLA and study math and science. This is ABC News.
Doors are being slammed in your face, and bad credit is holding you back. Ray's Webinar has dedicated over 40 years to helping everyone get a 750 credit score. Bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments, and even late pays can be removed from your personal credit report. If you need a credit score to 750, $99 can get you started. Ray's Webinar has built millions in credit for personal and business. If you need $5,000 to $50,000 and more, Ray's Webinar will get you what you want. Call 800-490-4140. That's 800-490-4140.
Sherry Preston.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Good morning and happy Thursday. It is a cooler and less humid start to your morning. Expect a beautiful afternoon today with a mostly sunny sky and highs in the upper 60s and low 70s this afternoon, staying less humid all day long. Dry today, but some showers redevelop overnight tonight. Could see a few showers for your Friday morning commute. Scattered showers are possible Friday midday through the afternoon, tapering off by the evening. We're drier for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Well, it certainly looks like a couple of beautiful days ahead of us. Looking ahead in that extended forecast. Looking ahead to Saturday, partly cloudy skies, highs around 71 degrees. Winds are going to be gusty for Saturday. Partly cloudy skies overnight on Saturday, lows around 49 degrees. Sunday, partly cloudy, highs around 78. And a chance of rain moves back into the forecast for Monday. Partly cloudy with scattered showers. Only a 40% chance, but we'll take that right here in the foothills. Outside the studios here on Whiteside Road at WCAB, we have clear skies and 48 degrees. It's time now for our obituaries this morning. Joe Waters of Forest City passed away May 3rd at the Hospice House of the Carolina Foothills. Arrangements are scheduled for Friday at the First United Methodist Church. More specific and detailed obituary will be posted later this week. Paget and King Mortuary, serving the family of Joe Waters. Alan Avery Carlton, age 89, of Forest City, passed away Wednesday at the Atrium Health Cleveland and Shelby. Arrangements are currently pending and will be announced later. To Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory Services, serving the family of Alan Avery Carlton. James Leslie Jim Yarborough, age 65, of Ellenborough, passed away Sunday. Funeral services will be held 2 o'clock today at the Corinth Baptist Church with Reverend Mike Connor and Reverend Ad Hopper officiating. A eulogy will also be given by Mr. Rick Freeman. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory Services, serving the family of James Leslie Jim Yarborough. William Bill Jennings Bergen, age 67, of Ellenborough, passed away Saturday, May the 1st, at the Atrium Health in Cleveland. Memorial services will be held privately for the family, and they ask that memorial contributions be made to the Rutherford County Farm Museum, 240 Park Square Extension in Forest City. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory Services, serving the family of William Bill Jennings Bergen. Roy Blanchard, age 56, of Forest City, passed away Wednesday. Celebration of life will be held today at 1 p.m. at the Adaville Baptist Church with the Reverend Jeff Pate officiating. The Washburn and Dorsey Funeral Home and cremation services, serving the family of Roy Blanchard. Those are the obituaries we have at this time. The complete details on these can be heard this morning at 11:30 this morning. Rush Limbaugh coming up in just a few moments, and then we'll get ready for the morning call-around report. I know you're used to hearing Jim Bishop at this time, and this might sound a little funny, but he is here. He's going to answer the phones for me this morning, and we're going to struggle through this morning, but we'll make it. We'll get our regular call-around report this morning, and then at 8:30 this morning, I believe it's going to be My Great America with Jim and Butch, straight ahead this morning. 8:30, always a popular show there. They do a good job of that, like listening to them. That's coming up straight ahead this morning at 8:30, My Great America with Jim and Butch. Rush Limbaugh update, straight ahead.
which, of course, is due to the closing down of the economy. Now, it's not the first time that states have cut Medicaid spending. It happened during the last economic slowdown. But experts warn this time it's going to be worse, because under Obamacare, the number of people using Medicaid skyrocketed by millions. Now, if that's not bad enough, there are millions of people newly out of work. A bunch of them are going to seek help from Medicaid, just as the money is running out. Now, in the first coronavirus bailout legislation, Congress gave states a temporary 6% increase to cover Medicaid. But some states are crying and moaning it's not enough. They need more money. And they don't want chump change. They want billions and billions more. They want hundreds of billions, and they want it now. And the Democrats in Congress, of course, want them to have it now. So you might be asking, well, why don't the states cut their budgets in other areas if Medicaid's such a priority? Or you might ask, where are these billions of dollars supposed to come from? Well, you can ask all you want. There never will be an answer. States want more money, and we're supposed to come up with it. End of story. It's just apparently how it works now. Except for you. You want more money? Screw you. You can't even go back to work yet, chump.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1884 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1884 O silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. Only a limited quantity of these Morgan silver dollar coins are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call government at 1-800-937-4707 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1884 O Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic O mint mark of the New Orleans Mint. But with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1884 O silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 137 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-937-4707. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-937-4707 now to secure your 1884 O Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-937-4707.
Told you wrong on that. My Great America with Jim and Butch actually this morning at 9:05.
On May 6, 1871, one of the grandest steamboats of that era went on the auction block. Its name was the Great Republic. Built at a price of $235,000, she was a four-decker with frescoed walls, fluted columns, and crystal chandeliers. Because of the cost of operation, her previous owner had gone broke. The fuel alone for a round trip between St. Louis and New Orleans was $5,000. When the auctioneer's gavel went down for the last time, the Great Republic belonged to a William Turgeon for only $48,000. Turgeon was an ex-riverboat captain and gambler. His previous steamboat had burned in 1867, and he had no funds. So how was he able to buy it? Well, it seems that years earlier, when William Turgeon was a young man, he and some others of his type would promote games of chance on steamboats traveling the Mississippi River. One time, when they were kicked off a steamboat, he befriended and helped a fellow gambler by the name of Henry Hill. Right after this, Hill realized there were better ways to make a living and went out west, where he did exceptionally well in land speculation. Returning to St. Louis in early May of 1871, Henry Hill entered into a poker game. When everyone cashed in their chips, Hill had won $350,000. And according to Hill, knowing his old friend Turgeon had lost his boat and that the Great Republic was to be auctioned off, he gave Turgeon the money to buy it from his winnings. We should all have friends like this. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
14 minutes after 7 o'clock on this beautiful Thursday morning. It's time to get started with the Saturday morning. Man, I can't get that out of my head. The Thursday morning caller out of board. Used to doing this on Thursday. We're going to the first of the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Chris Francis with us this morning. Sheriff, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Todd. Hope you're doing well.
It's a little bit odd talking to you from this side of the the phone's usually I'm getting you on the phone, hanging up, done. But here we
Good
go.
to hear your voice. Good to hear your voice, but I'm not sure about this Saturday stuff. We've got a couple of days till then.
I'm so used to doing the Saturday report, that just kind of an automatic thing that I say.
No problem.
Sheriff, what do you have for us this morning?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 151 calls to service. There have been 20 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 153. Among those arrested, Michael Dean Bradley, 39-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to comply, received a $1,100 cash bond. Sharon Nicole Davis, 29-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Hunter Allen Jolly, 24-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and served a $33,000 secure bond. James Colby Smith, 26-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with failure to appear and received a $5,000 secure bond. David Ray Poole, 52-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear, received a $2,500 secure bond. Jerry Todd Watson, Jr., 40-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear, received a $3,100 secure bond. Weldon Malachi Whitesides, 21-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with carrying a concealed weapon, drug paraphernalia, and driving while license revoked, received a $2,000 secure bond. Stephen Michael Smith, 27-year-old male of Rufton, was charged with carrying a concealed weapon, and drug paraphernalia, received a $1,500 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a fraud on Highway 120, Mooresboro. The suspect attempted to pass forged checks in Georgia on a business that's there on Highway 120. None of those were successfully passed. Had a larceny on Lake Davis Road in Ellenboro. There was a 6-foot trailer along with a yellow wheelbarrow. The trailer was valued at $700, and the wheelbarrow was valued at $50. The utility trailer was a car, and it had a tag displaying BR92601 on the same. We had a breaking and entering larceny on Old Ross Road in Forest City where Snap-on, Craftsman, and Stanley tools were taken, as well as a space heater, some stereo equipment, and the actual carport was also taken. We had a breaking and entering in larceny on Oscar Justice Road in Ruston, pending inventory. And close by that, being in larceny, we had a separate incident on Airport Road in Ruston where a wooden coffee table was taken, and Chevrolet running boards, a set of those were taken, some cleaning supplies, a Blink camera valued at $100, and a window AC unit valued at $100 was taken in that incident. And Todd, that's what we had to report today.
Sheriff, any update on the missing person, Celia Carlene Garner?
I appreciate you mentioned she has not been located yet, and we have been working hard the last 2 days looking for her. So again, if anybody has information on Celia Carlene Garner, 30-year-old female, originally from Shelby, she's 5'7". She has medium long brown hair, approximately 180 pounds, and 4 months pregnant. We would love to have information. You feel free to dial 828-286-2911. Or 911 and get the dispatcher in the area the information if you know her whereabouts. Thank you very much, Todd.
Sheriff, we appreciate the report. As always, be safe, and we'll talk to you again next time.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
Thanks, bye-bye. Sheriff Chris Francis with that report from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department. Again, Celia Carlene Garner is missing. Would love to have some information on her whereabouts. Also, the Rutherford Police Department asking for help identifying a female. Female cashed a fraudulent check with stolen North Carolina driver's license at the State Employee Credit Union. Also attempted to cash another check at the BB&T Bank in Rutherford using another set of stolen North Carolina driver's license on the same day. The female was driving a 4-door dark color SUV. Left Rutherford, attempted to cash checks Shelby and Kings Mountain State Employee Credit Union on the same day. Anyone with information, contact Lieutenant Ricky Gilbert with the Rutherford Police Department, 2875062.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Going next to the Rutherford County 911 Communications Center. With us this morning is Stacy. Stacy, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. What's on the report for us this morning?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Centers processed 505 911 calls, administrative calls, which consist of 43 EMS calls, Rescue 16, and a law enforcement Sheriff's Office 151, Forest City 68, Rutherford 43, Lake Lord 3, and Spindale 69. Under fire calls, dispatched Bostic to industrial fire alarm, Forest City to a motor vehicle accident, STA to a vehicle fire, and Sandy Musk to a motor vehicle accident. That's all we have.
Stacy, we appreciate that report. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Thanks. Bye. Well, folks, if you've never been out to Washburn's store, I urge you just to go out there and just look around. You know, I've told you can just find about anything you want to find at Washburn's store. And you can shop the alphabet, and anything from candies, cups, caps, bells, bulbs, bottles, anything you want you can find. They have a new shipment of garden seed, onion sets, seed potatoes, small bags of lime, fertilizer, 10-10-10, grass seeds for all your garden needs. You can go to the Washburn store out on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Open 9:30 a.m. They have fresh meat, bread, cheese. They close around 2 o'clock. And if you go in there, you'll be blown away. Every time I go in there, I see something I've never seen before. And I urge you, if you've never been to Washburn store, go talk with the fine folks out there, and you will be glad you did. That's the Washburn store on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Ruby Taylor is next this morning. Ruby, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm gonna make it through this, I hope.
You hope.
Yeah. Ruby, what do you have for us this morning?
The fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle fire. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Kevin Dobbins, Earlene Reimer, Joyce Mara, Buddy Riggs having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Signs are in the arms today and go into the breast tomorrow. And that's all I got.
All right, Ruby, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
724, 48 degrees outside. We're going to make our way up to the, I forgot where we was going. Gary Wilson.
Up here on the western end of the county.
It's a confusing morning so far.
We'll get through it.
That's right.
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right, Gary. How about you?
Doing pretty good. Sitting on about 48 degrees up here this morning. A little cooler this morning than it has been. But nice, cool start and beautiful sunshine out there, not a cloud in the sky, don't look like. So looks like we're going to have a nice day out of it.
Looks like it's going to be just a little bit cooler today than we have been.
Yeah, it has been. Last couple of days have been kind of humid. Had some rain and everything else, and then wind come in yesterday afternoon. Last night it's pretty breezy up till about about midnight last night, and it calmed down after that. So look, we're going to have a pretty day today. We've had a quiet 24 hours in our department, Bills Creek, as far as fire calls go, so that's a good thing. And Bills Creek got one announcement they're having a silent auction and bake sale and plant sale and all that going on at their department. Be coming up Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, so everybody can get out and check that out and find them some things to buy, support a good cause. And that's about all we got up here this morning. We're off to a peaceful start.
All right, Gary, sounds good. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, and have a great day.
All right, you too.
Thanks, bye-bye. Gary Wilson with that report from the Fairfield Fire District. Let us know what's happening up in that part of the county, up around Bills Creek. Don't forget Atlanta Braves baseball coming up this afternoon. That'll be Game 3 of the series with the Phillies. The Nationals this afternoon. Game 3 of the series versus the Nationals. They go to the Philadelphia Phillies tomorrow. That'll be an afternoon game. We'll join that after rush, 4:05 first pitch. We'll have you there in plenty of time for the first pitch right here with Atlanta Braves baseball.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
Next up this morning is Bob Hodge from the Mount Vernon Fire District, and we're going to say good morning, Bob. How are you?
We're doing just fine on this cool Thursday morning.
Bob, what's been going on over that way?
Well, things been going along pretty good up here with the fire department. We've answered one medical call, hadn't had any fire wreck call. And so far, everything's going along good. News is sort of short this morning, but you get me confused. I thought today was Saturday there.
I've said Saturday, I think twice this morning, so, it is just Thursday.
It is Thursday. All right, then. Well, Todd, you take care. That's about it up here, and you take care and have a good day.
All right, Bob, you do the same. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
Good morning. The impact COVID-19 has had on our community has caused many changes. And some of these changes is our jobs. If your job situation is changing because of a layoff or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One of these decisions is what to do with your retirement plan. Let's make sure that your investment plan stays on track and doesn't derail your retirement ideas. Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale from Rutherford, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I would love to help you. Please give us a call at 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. Edward Jones, making sense of investing and member of the SIPC. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Andrew, for that. Sue Price is up next, our reporter from the Bostic Sunshine Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Todd. I'm good. How are you today?
It's not Saturday, so just so we're straight here.
All right. Well, it's hard to keep the days straight for me.
That's right. That's right. Hard to keep the days straight.
Kind of confusing. Well, let's see. I don't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have any birthdays on my church calendar today. On my personal calendar, I've got a birthday for Inez Jenkins, so I hope Inez is going to have a good day. And I don't think there's anything on the other two calendars for today, so not too many celebrating. No, we have anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. Looks like they're going to have a beautiful day for it, too. sun's already out here, and it's just looking good out there. And I don't have any announcements. Haven't had anything come in, so I'm sure some of the churches are having Memorial Day, but I don't have any. Hadn't had any calls, so nothing else to report, Todd. It's just quiet and calm, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
All right, Sue, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
7:31 or 29 minutes before the hour of 8 o'clock. That finds us Ballstick with Jessica to drop in. Jessica, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Hope you are. Well,
I am.
I had a, tell you what, if you're out in Ballstick and you need a good breakfast, go by Jessica. I had a liver mush egg with a hash brown. I know that sounds funny, on toast this morning, and it was wonderful.
Yes, it is, and you're not the only one that gets that. It is very, very good. Also, keep in mind, we got something new that come in that I've ordered. A lot of people like the little hash browns.
Oh, yeah.
We got them as well. You can get 6 of them for 99 cents.
That is not a bad deal.
No, it's not.
You can stack those on a sandwich if you want to.
Okay, sounds good to me. Just remember, we got biscuits, bacon, egg, and cheese. We got breakfast pizza. You can get a breakfast pizza, hunk of pizza for $3.19, or you can get a whole for $10.99. Also, just remember, we got fresh coffee, cappuccino. Today in our deli, we will not be having our ribs today. We're going to start having our ribs on Tuesdays because the Sloppy Joes just didn't go good on Tuesdays. So we're going to have our ribs on Tuesdays. And today we're going to have homemade chicken salad. I made it, and it is really, really good. I've been letting people sample it out, and it's really good.
Well, my son being the chicken salad connoisseur that he is, you made him an offer the other day he couldn't refuse on some chicken salad, and we all shared it, and it was excellent.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And also in the meat department, we have New York strip steaks for $12.49 a pound. We have the new grass-fed ground beef, 80/20 for $5.99. Fresh salmon for $9.99 a pound. And you cannot beat that. That salmon is awesome. And them ribeyes, if it's going to be pretty this weekend, that would be a good choice to come and get it and cook out.
Might as well stop by the drop-in and pick you up a ribeye for this weekend, because you want to be outside grilling, so you might as well just buy the steaks, and then you won't have an excuse not to grill.
That's right. And just one more thing, keep in mind, our hours are Monday through Friday from 6 till 9 p.m., Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Sundays the store is open from 11 to 6. And last but not least, we are hiring at all drop-in stores. If you are interested in a job position, please come by and see me, Jessica, or come by and see Audrey, or you can even also go to the office. And like I said, all drop-in stores are hiring. So please come out, and we look forward for everybody, whoever it is, joining our team.
No excuse not to have a job nowadays. Everybody
That's exactly
is
right.
hiring. Jessica, thanks so much for that report, and hope you have a wonderful day, and try not to work too hard.
Try not to.
Thanks so much, Jessica. Bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
That's Jessica over to drop in if you need a good breakfast or a good lunch, or had some tater wedges yesterday. Just drop by there and talk with Jessica back in the deli. And the store is packed full of all kind of good specials. So check them out over in Boston.
Anyone who is looking for a secure entry-level job in manufacturing in and around Rutherford County, here is great news. AZP is holding a job fair and would love to hire entry-level production operators. This job fair for AZP is May 13th from 3 until 7 at the NC Works Rutherfordton office at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. AZP, a reputable company, is offering competitive pay and benefits. Starting wages, $16.25 an hour with available overtime. The ability for internal promotions, health, dental, vision, life insurance, retirement plans, and paid time off. It's an excellent benefit package, and top pay scale could be yours. Find out more when you attend the AZP Job Fair, May 13th from 3 until 7. It will be held at the NC Works office in Rutherfordton at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton.
Yet another job opportunity right there. So get out and get a job, and $16.25 starting off. You can't beat that. Tina White, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Todd. I'm doing great this morning.
Sounds
a terrific Thursday morning, right?
Terrific Thursday. It's beautiful outside. Clear skies, looking for a high of around 71 degrees, mostly sunny. I just don't think you can ask for better weather.
No, but it's still like a Monday morning to me. I've locked myself out. I'm running a little bit late this morning. But it is beautiful.
Nothing like getting out of your car and looking back and it's locked up and your keys hanging in the ignition. That's.
Well, I lock my house key and my car key in my house.
Oh, well, you just have to figure out which window you're going to sacrifice and crawl in.
Well, I have a wonderful mother and father-in-law who live next door, so we just had to get the key from them.
Even better, save a window.
Oh, well, it's beautiful up here already, 50 degrees, excuse me. And sun shining bright, no fog this morning like yesterday morning, and fire departments were all quiet. Churches have no birthdays or anniversaries today. There is one announcement. Shingle Hollow Garden Co-op is meeting this evening at 6:30 at Shingle Hollow Fire Department. They invite everyone who's interested in any type of gardening, canning, freezing, preserving food to come on out and just see what it's all about.
Sounds like the place to be up there. It seems like the canning is becoming a lost art around a lot of the areas. A lot of people used to can, but don't anymore.
Yeah, it really is becoming a lost art, but we need to be able to preserve our foods. We never know what the future will hold. It'll be something to pass down.
Never know.
Okay, well, I hope everybody stays safe today, and I'm going to jump off here and try to get things rolling.
All right, Tina, thanks so much. I hope you get back in your house and get your keys and go on about your day, and maybe won't do it again today.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Tina White with that report from the Shingle Hollow Fire District. And we'll move over to the Brenda Kelly, talk with her as we move along this morning. 20 minutes until 8 o'clock. Brenda Kelly, we're going to head your way next.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
7:40 on this Thursday morning. About said Saturday again. Brenda Kelly, good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. I don't think you are you?
You know, this is something new. I still, Saturday's always on the tip of my tongue, and I have to think, no, it ain't Saturday. It's Thursday.
I was over there cooking some breakfast, and I heard you say, well, it's time for the obituaries. I thought, my goodness, I know time faces fast, but I didn't know it went from Thursday to Saturday that fast.
You didn't know you'd slept 3 days, did you?
No. And I thought, what's going on? but anyway, we're glad you're there, and hoping everybody's having a terrific Thursday, or tremendous Thursday, or thankful Thursday, whichever.
Whichever one you want to call it, just call it and go with it.
Just pick one and go with it. That's right. But let's see, I've got 48 degrees on the front porch. I believe y'all had 48, and I believe Gary Wilson, is it Gary?
Yep, Gary had 48.
Yeah, and I've got 48. I said, that's odd.
Yeah, that usually don't happen. Usually it ranges 3 or 4 degrees either way, or sometimes more than that.
But I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries. And in ways of announcements, breakfast at Gilkey Community Center Saturday the 8th from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. They have all kind of good food. Price is $7 for adults, kids 6 to 12, $5, and 6 and under is free. And then on Friday the 21st of May, Friday the 7th of May. I was looking at the year instead of the date, but it's Friday the 7th. Jacktown Ramblers will be at the Union Mills Learning Center. They'll have a meal beginning at 6 p.m., and the cost of the meal is $5, and the music starts at 7, and you don't have to pay for that, but they do have a tip jar for the band. And other than that, I don't have nothing. So I guess you need to go to Ellenburg and check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan to see what's going on down there.
That sounds like a plan, Brenda. I'll do that. Hope you have a good day.
You too. Thanks. Catch you later.
Bye-bye. Brenda Kelly with that report from the Union Mills Fire District, and we'll go with our final stop this morning down to the Ellenboro Fire District, and we'll speak with Luther Gilligan after these words.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
As promised, Luther Gilligan from the Ellenboro Fire District this morning. Luther, good morning. How are you?
Hey, I am doing great this morning. Sitting here watching the sun come up, drinking coffee.
Drinking coffee, watching the sun come up, watching the cars go by, just enjoying life.
Enjoying it. It is good.
It sounds like to me Ellenboro is the place to be this morning.
That's Ellenboro place to be anytime, where you can live and do that things you have to have.
That's right.
But it's a good day. It's quiet, nothing going. Well, just getting their biscuits, they head on out to work. Fire department, they were quiet all day. It's just 4 days in a row now. They've had nothing. So it's good on that side. So if you had nothing else going on down here, you have a good day up there. We'll check back tomorrow.
All right, Luther, thanks. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Take care of that.
Luther Gillikin with that report from the Ellenboro Fire District, and that wraps up our Call Around report for this morning. We're going to be taking birthdays. Give Jim a call, 287-3356, if you're having a birthday or anniversary today, and we'll have a birthday party in your honor coming up in just a few moments right here in WCAB.
For some reason, I have never gotten into the habit of keeping my gas tanks on full. I don't know whether I don't like to take the time, I don't want to spend the money, or I think we will drive less if there's not much gas there, or if it is some kind of a game. My children will say to me, "Dad, you know we are on empty." And I usually respond, "No, not really. As long as the needle moves, we still have something in there." The thing is to guess how far that something in there will take us. I missed several months ago coming back to town. A car that runs out of gas in the wrong spot can affect many people or even endanger them. For example, to run out of gas in a tunnel or on a bridge can affect and endanger hundreds, if not thousands of others. The same is also true of the person who has run out of gas, that has failed to take in the necessary emotional, physical, or spiritual nourishment. It might be a wife who regularly blows up at the children, the husband who verbally abuses his wife, or the employee or employer who doesn't have the inner reserve to make it a pleasant day for others. Without regular times of renewal, we can all get to the point of running on empty. We are simply dried out. God knew that would happen, so He gave us a commandment that says, "Remember the Sabbath day for worship and rest." This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about.
Well, we don't have any birthdays that have been called into the station this morning, so if you are out there celebrating a birthday or anniversary, we say thank you and congratulations. Today is your birthday or anniversary. Celebrate, privately have a big get-together, whatever you want to do. Know that we wish you the best here from WCAB. Coming up, news time at the top of the hour, and then Jim will be right back in the Blue Room with the news from here and there and everywhere with Jim Bishop coming up after 8 o'clock this morning.
ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. The CDC predicting a sharp decline in COVID cases by July because so many people are getting vaccinated. Next in line for the shot, adolescents. ABC's Whit Johnson with more.
On Wednesday, Moderna saying that should vaccine booster shots become necessary, early data suggests theirs will be effective against strains from South Africa and Brazil. And now a new focus on kids. Canada announcing it has authorized the Pfizer vaccine in 12 to 15-year-olds. As the U.S. awaits a decision for that same age group any day, the Biden administration doubling down on its promise to act immediately.
Drug makers are pushing back against an announcement that the U.S. and EU countries are in favor of sharing vaccine recipes with other countries.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen saying the European Union is willing to discuss waiving intellectual property rights for COVID-19 vaccines, a proposal now backed by the United States. This comes as the EU's vaccination efforts and exports are ramping up. South Africa and India led the push for vaccine waivers back in October, developing countries saying it is a crucial move necessary to make vaccines more widely available. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Paris.
Congresswoman Lynn Cheney is in jeopardy of losing her House leadership position because she won't go along with the Trump supporters in her party. In a new opinion piece, she writes, "History is watching." Here's ABC's Faith Abube in Washington.
Cheney is a consistent critic of former President Donald Trump's false claim that November's election was stolen from him. And she accuses some Republicans of trying to whitewash the January attack on the Capitol. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy recently made it clear that he wants Cheney gone as the party's conference chairwoman.
President Biden will travel to Louisiana today to discuss his $2 trillion infrastructure plan, which includes upgrades to water systems in that state. First Lady Jill Biden will be visiting military spouses at an Army base in Colorado. You're listening to ABC News.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts recommend all the best products to get the job done right. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil on sale now just $28.95. And we'll make sure you have all the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
These days, physical distance can keep us safe and healthy, but emotional distance can strain relationships, especially if drugs or alcohol are involved. If substance use or addiction is creating a barrier between you and your child, you may feel alone, and you may not know where to turn, but we're here to help you and your family. Partnership to End Addiction offers free resources, guidance, and support just a click away. To end addiction, start with connection. To learn more, reach out to us at drugfree.org.
An investigation into suspected voter fraud in Florida around a program to try to get former prisoners to vote comes up empty. ABC's Lana Moise with more from Miami.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement said it devoted more than 700 man-hours to the case, including interviews and a review of thousands of records. The investigation found no evidence that anyone was told to vote for a specific political party as a condition of having their outstanding court fees and fines paid off, and that Bloomberg did not personally donate to the effort. Voters approved an amendment in 2018 restoring voting rights to felons, but a controversial condition: they are still barred from voting if they owe court fees and fines from those felony convictions. Lionel Moise, ABC News, Miami.
The Palm Beach Post says Florida Governor Ron DeSantis plans to sign a bill today that will put new limits on how people can vote in that state. Officials in Zimbabwe are saying the large number of elephants there are destroying parts of the habitat, and they're now considering killing some off. ABC's Liesl Tom in South Africa.
One of the options the Zimbabwean government is considering is to cull some of the 100,000 elephants in its territory. The country's environmental minister, Mangaliso Ndlovu, told state television that they are considering the options to reduce the number of elephants and that culling is on the table.
Other proposals for culling the elephants have been canceled after protests. This is ABC News.
Who's really running Joe Biden's White House? The First Lady? Kamala Harris? Maybe Barack Obama. Now, Newsmax's Greg Kelly asks the tough questions. Watch Greg Kelly tonight at 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern and see his series, Who's Really in Charge? Newsmax TV is on all major cable systems. If you don't get it, tell your cable operator you want Newsmax. Or download the free Newsmax app on your phone and start watching right away. Millions are watching Newsmax. So should you.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We are going to see a beautiful afternoon today. Expect a mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. It'll also feel less humid this afternoon. We're dry for today, but some showers redevelop overnight tonight. Those showers can impact your Friday morning commute. More rain, though, is possible Friday midday through the afternoon. Highs Friday in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. We're drier Saturday and Mother's Day Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Oh, we're starting out at a beautiful, beautiful day here in the neighborhood. It's 51 degrees currently. We started out at 48, and we're expecting to get up to about 71 and mostly sunny skies with that wind gusting to about 11 miles per hour. Now, I don't see any rain in the forecast until we maybe get to Sunday evening, and there's only a slight chance of scattered showers on Sunday night and early Monday morning, and then it looks like it's going to be a pretty good first of the week. Beautiful weather here in the springtime of the foothills area of western North Carolina. Thanks for joining us here this morning for the third hour. We had a lot to pack in, got news from here and there, a lot of stories, including a second case of rabies being confirmed here in the county. We'll talk about that here in just a moment.
Celebrate greater at Carolina West Wireless. Greater deals, greater savings, and greater ways to stay connected. Like $350 off the new iPhone 12. Love the device you already own? Bring it in when you switch and save $150. Plus, get 4 lines with unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. All on our powerful nationwide high-speed network. Stop by Carolina West Wireless and celebrate greater today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
According to a story in the Daily Courier, a second case of rabies has been confirmed here in the county. On Wednesday, May 5th, the North Carolina State Lab of Public Health notified the Rutherford County Health Department that a skunk that had been tested from the Rutherfordton area had tested positive for rabies. There was no report of human exposure with the skunk. Previously, on January 26th, state health officials notified Rutherford County Animal Control staff that a dog that had been picked up in the Colfax community of Ellenboro had tested positive for rabies. Rutherford County Health Director and Rutherford County Animal Control advised that residents should be sure that their animals are under their direct control. Animals that are allowed to wander or run loose are at a greater risk of coming into contact with rabid animals. If your pet is exposed to a rabid animal and its rabies vaccinations are not up to date, the pet will have to be euthanized or placed in a strict supervised quarantine at the owner's expense for up to 4 months. If your animal has been vaccinated, it will need a booster vaccine if exposed to the rabies. During the next 6 months, anyone living in the Sulphur Springs and the Colfax communities, Logan Station, Lake Lure, Bostic, and Cliffside, Mooresboro area should watch for animals with unusual behavior and be sure all pets have current rabies vaccinations. North Carolina state law requires that all cats and dogs have rabies vaccines at 4 months of age, a booster at 12 months after the initial rabies vaccine, and then a booster vaccine every 3 years. All local veterinarians offer rabies vaccines in their office. Also, Rutherford County Animal Control may be contacted at 828-287-6025 for times and cost of rabies vaccines at their office. Rabies vaccines at a cost of Animal Control currently offers on the first Tuesday of each month from 9 to 11. Rabies vaccine at a cost of $5 for dogs and cats. Anyone who sees an animal displaying abnormal behavior should call the Rutherford County Animal Control at 828-287-6025. Well, there's a bill underway. Republican leadership in the General Assembly, they have introduced legislation to increase penalties for rioting across North Carolina. House Bill 805 would establish a new level of felony penalties for rioters who cause property damage or serious bodily injury or death to others, including physical violence to first responders. The bill allows business owners who sustain damage or people physically harmed to sue the perpetrators for up to 3 times the actual damages sustained, in addition to legal fees. HB 805 is expected to be on the House floor as early as next week. Anti-rioting legislation is being run while lawmakers continue to debate bills to both support law enforcement and shore up accountability for policing. House Bill 436 would require mental health screenings for police as well as periodic mental health check-ins. House Bill 536 would require officers who see colleagues using excessive force to intervene, while House Bill 547 would require organizations that certify local law enforcement to search a national database of decertifications maintained by the International Association of Directors of Law Enforcement Standards and Training before certifying the officer. Well, North Carolinians can now get help to pay for high-speed internet from a $3.2 billion federal program opening in May for families and households working, learning, and shopping from home during the COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Cooper said in a press release Wednesday that many North Carolina families struggle to afford high-speed internet. The Emergency Broadband Benefit Program will help bridge the digital divide so that people in need can get online to talk with their doctors, learn remotely, find or do work, and contact with friends and family. The Emergency Broadband Benefit Program, called the EBBP, gives a discount of up to $50 a month to a household's internet bill. That increases to $75 a month for those living on tribal lands. Eligible households can also get one-time discounts of $100 toward the purchase of a laptop, tablet, or desktop computer through participating providers. The North Carolina Department of Public Instruction has approved the Rutherford County Schools Summer Learning Program plan this week. Renee Collins, Rutherford County Schools Assistant Superintendent, presented a detailed overview of the plan to the Board of Education last Tuesday night. Summer school will be available for at-risk students at each elementary, middle, and high school beginning June 1st and continuing through Thursday, July 13th. The program will be closed on July 5th for the Independence Day holiday. Due to the year-end calendar, Forest City Dunbar Elementary will hold their summer program from June 1 through July 2nd. The summer learning experience at all sites will consist of at least 6 hours and 15 minutes of instruction daily, resulting in a total of 150 instructional hours. Twelve minutes after 8 o'clock, Braves are up this afternoon. Have an afternoon game with the Braves. Be sure to join us for that. Congratulations are in order to Jenna Bridges, a graduating senior at Chase High School. She's been named one of the 625 semifinalists in the 2021 U.S. Presidential Scholars Program. The semifinalists were selected from nearly 6,500 candidates expected to graduate from U.S. high schools this year, and Jenna Bridges was one of those selected. Inclusion in the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program, now in its 57th year, is one of the highest honors bestowed upon graduating high school seniors. Scholars are selected on the basis of their accomplishments in many areas: academic and artistic success, accomplishment in career and technical fields, leadership, strong character, and involvement in school and the community. Jenna is the daughter of Crystal Bridges, a guidance counselor at Chase High School, and Jeff Bridges, who is a graduation coach. Congratulations to Jenna Bridges. Well, it's a college up in Brevard College. They are instituting something that I hope doesn't get carried away across America and across North Carolina. They're going to require students to be vaccinated before they can arrive back on campus. Students will have to be fully vaccinated by August 15th, 2021. They will also require all faculty, staff, new and returning students, including commuters, to show proof that they have received a COVID-19 vaccine prior to the start of the fall semester. Documented exemptions will be accommodated on a case-by-case basis. If you have any questions about COVID-19 vaccines or this new requirement for faculty, staff, and students, and you are interested in going to Brevard, you can contact them at covid19@brevard.edu. So there you go. They're making it a mandatory thing in some places. The Sheriff's Report is coming up here in just a few moments. Here is a wonderful opportunity to work at a job and help your neighbors at the same time. Rutherford County Habitat for Humanity is seeking an assistant manager for Restore 269. Applicants should be team-oriented, have excellent customer service, and a friendly and industrious personality. Does that fit you? Some physical labor, including lifting, is required on this job. Retail management experience will be helpful. If you'd like this kind of job send your resume to RCHFH, Post Office Box 1534, Rutherfordton 28139. No phone calls, please. Rutherford County Habitat for Humanity is seeking a Restore associate. Excellent customer service skills are a must. Applicants must work well with others and have a friendly and industrious personality. Must be able to lift 75 pounds. Assist customers with merchandise, answer phone, and greet customers. Other duties include loading and unloading Restore donations and assisting with overall store cleanliness. Applications are available at the Habitat Restore at 688 West Main Street, Forest City. No phone calls, please.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted, experience, and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
Well, if you're looking for jewelry, ladies, go by Joy's Bridal. They have a really outstanding display of jewelry there, all kinds of silver and gold, and you'll find something that you like. If you like a lot of jewelry to wear, they got it. If you like just small, simple pieces of jewelry, they've got that as well. They got a great selection, and you'll appreciate doing business with Joy's Bridal. Now, if you got a formal event coming up, want some formal clothes, they got that. Some of the schools will be having their formals here pretty soon, so go rent something from Joy's Bridal. You'll appreciate doing business right here at home. And Joy's been doing this a long time, and she's not happy until you're happy. So go by and do business there with Joy's Bridal there in the Tri-City Mall. And look out for the jewelry. It is really outstanding. 16 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. A couple of other stories before we get to the sheriff's report. Of course, you followed. I'm sure many of you followed, and we're tired of hearing it like most of us. But the Chauvin juror who said he'd be impartial when they had the trial at the George Floyd jury pool. He said that he'd be impartial. Derek Chauvin was by no means a sympathetic figure, but he still had every right to a fair trial. However, a report from the Post-Millennial Sunday revealed that at least one of the jurors who convicted the former Minneapolis police officer for murder of George Floyd may have come to the jury pool armed with an agenda and possibly an assumption of guilt. Brendan Mitchell, previously only known as juror number 52, denied having relevant knowledge of Floyd's civil case during jury selection in March. But a social media post recently unearthed from 7 months earlier showed him wearing a Black Lives Matter hat and a T-shirt emblazoned with the message, "Get your knee off our necks," a reference to the matter of Floyd's death and BLM. He was on the jury. Said he had no prior knowledge of it. Here is juror number 52 who said he was impartial during jury questioning. Commentator Jack Presovic tweeted with a screenshot of the Facebook post that is now either private or unavailable. Also runs a podcast. He referring to Mitchell's The Wholesome Podcast. Said here is juror number 52 said he was impartial during jury questioning, and he had a Black Lives Matter T-shirt. So how can you be impartial? You've already decided your thoughts on that. So he's going for a retrial, and he should. After Congressman Waters said the kind of things she said in perpetuating rioting and perpetuating getting in your faces kind of thing, if a jury didn't turn down the right verdict, how could you have a fair trial under those conditions? So he'll probably get his trial over again. Don't know how all that will work out, but it sounds like with a tainted jury pool and people like Maxine Waters running their mouths, it seems he should get a fair trial. Well, there are more than 35 organizations that have signed a pledge to reject money from big tech organizations like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Apple, and others. In a separate statement, MRC founder and President Brent Bozell stated, quote, "We are sending this pledge to all conservative organizations and leaders and urging them to sign it. We must act together to end Silicon Valley's corrupt grip over Washington and our public discourse." So they are taking some steps to do that. I'm really impressed with some of the governors, like Governor of Florida, Governor of Texas, and even the Governor of Georgia doing some things, stepping up to the plate and doing some things to fight back in this unruly situation that we're facing. Sheriff Chris Francis was with us earlier today with the report from the Sheriff's Office, and let's hear that again right now.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 151 calls for service. There have been 20 arrests processed at County Jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 153. Among those arrested, Michael Dean Bradley, 39-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged for failure to comply, received a $1,100 cash bond. Sharon Nicole Davis, 29-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Hunter Allen Jolly, 24-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with 2 counts of failure to appear and served a $33,000 secure bond. James Colby Smith, 26-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with failure to appear and received a $5,000 secure bond. David Ray Poole, 52-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear, received a $2,500 secure bond. Jerry Todd Watson, Jr., 40-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear, received a $3,100 secure bond. Weldon Malachi Whitesides, 21-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with carrying a concealed weapon, drug paraphernalia, and driving while license revoked, received a $2,000 secure bond. Stephen Michael Smith, 27-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with carrying a concealed weapon, and drug paraphernalia, received a $1,500 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a fraud on Highway 120, Mooresboro. Suspect attempted to pass forged checks in Georgia on a business that's there on Highway 120. None of those were successfully passed. Had a larceny on Lake Davis Road in Ellenboro. There was a 6-foot trailer along with a yellow wheelbarrow. The trailer was valued at $700, and the wheelbarrow was valued at $50. The utility trailer was a car, and it had a tag displaying BR92601 on the same. We had a break-in and enter in larceny on Old Ross Road in Forest City where Snap-on, Craftsman, and Stanley tools were taken, as well as a space heater, some stereo equipment, and the actual carport was also taken. We had a break-in and entering in larceny on Oscar Justice Road in Ruston, pending inventory. And close by that, being in larceny, we had a separate incident on Airport Road in Ruston where a wooden coffee table was taken, and Chevrolet running boards, a set of those were taken, some cleaning supplies, a Blink camera valued at $100, and a window AC unit valued at $100 was taken in that incident. And Todd, that's what we had to report today.
Sheriff, any update on the missing person, Celia Carlene Garner?
I appreciate you mentioned she has not been located yet, and we have been working hard the last 2 days looking for her. So again, if anybody has information on Celia Carlene Garner, 30-year-old female, originally from Shelby, she's 5'7". She has medium long brown hair, approximately 180 pounds, and 4 months pregnant. We would love to have information. You feel free to dial 828-286-2911. or 911 and get the dispatcher in the area the information if you know her whereabouts.
Sheriff Chris Francis, thank you very much for that report. Hey, get your golf clubs dusted off, find you some golf balls, because when it's springtime in the Carolinas, it's time for the Rutherford County Chamber Golf Tournament. Sign up today to reserve your spot for the May 21st tournament. Friday, May 21st, you and your team can enjoy the great outdoors, and winning teams get money. First prize $500, second prize $300, third prize $100. And the tournament is limited to 36 four-man teams, and it's filling up pretty fast, so don't get left out. Sign up today by contacting the Chamber office at 287-3090, 287-3090. $300 per team. Lunch will be provided. Registration at 11 o'clock. Shotgun start at 12 noon. Oh, yes, it will be on the beautiful Cleghorn Golf Club. And you can be a T-Box sponsor if you like. You can get your name in front of a lot of folks. T-Box sponsorship's $150. A great way to get your message out to a field of business professionals. Call today at 828-287-3090 or email info@rutherfordcoc.org. Sign up today. Enjoy the great outdoors with your friends and support the Chamber that does so much for our local businesses in our area.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The first round of play underway in the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. Webb Simpson was scheduled to tee off at 7:23 this morning, but he had to withdraw with a neck injury at the last minute. It's not clear what happened or when, but it was just yesterday that the hometown favorite was talking about looking forward to playing in his backyard.
I love being here for the obvious reasons. Sunday night, I was getting in my bed and I'm like, man, it's nice to not be staring at a suitcase leaving this week, getting on an airplane. So I love competing here. It's hard. I mean, it's a hard golf course, but super nice to have support from Charlotte, friends and family, and I look forward to getting it going.
Simpson was replaced in the field by Tim Wilkinson this morning. Other Charlotte native Davis Love III planned to be a part of the field, but he also pulled out. This year's field, though, does include Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, and Bryson DeChambeau, all ranked numbers 2 through 5, respectively, in the world. Rory McIlroy and Phil Mickelson also in the mix. The Hornets were off yesterday and are back in action tonight versus the Bulls in Charlotte. It is the first of a 5-game homestand at Spectrum Center for the Hornets. The Hurricanes also off last night and will also return to action tonight. They're also at home and also against Chicago. The Blackhawks, though. Carolina continues to lead the NHL's Central Division. The Panthers were idle on Wednesday while the Lightning downed Dallas to move into a second-place tie with Florida in the division behind Carolina. Both teams now 4 points back with just a few games to go on the season. The division title still up for grabs. Head coach Rod Brindamore talked the other night about the importance of home ice advantage and finishing atop the division, should they do that.
You never know if it's going to be an advantage until it's an advantage, meaning, you need that extra game or whatever. Then all of a sudden, wow, you look back and you think that was great that we finished that way. But I just think more importantly is going to be for us to finish strong here.
Canes and Blackhawks face off at 7 tonight from PNC Arena in Raleigh. This is NCN Sports.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com.
Help us serve you. North Carolina retailers aren't just the backbone of the local economy. They are the first ones to step up to support your Little League teams, your booster clubs, and to step in with product donations in times of need. So please shop NC. You hold the power to help North Carolina's retailers rebound faster by choosing to spend your dollars in North Carolina. The NC Retail Merchants Association proudly represents these dedicated retailers and encourages you to shop NC. Learn more at ncrma.org.
Today, one of baseball's all-time greats is celebrating a birthday. The Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, turns 90.
Say hey, say who, say Willie. Willie Mays broke into the big leagues in 1951, part of the first group of African-American players.
He could hit, he could run, he had a great arm.
Barry Bloom is a veteran sports writer. Mays had power.
Here's the pitch to Willie. Swung on, hit deep to left. That one is way back.
His 660 home runs remain 6th on the all-time list, but his defensive skills were just as great.
Willie Mays, which must have been an optical illusion.
In 1979, in his first year of eligibility, Willie Mays was elected to the Hall of Fame. Steve Futterman, CBS News.
Mays played more than 20 years, mostly for the Giants or New York Giants, I should say, and later the San Francisco Giants. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We are going to see a beautiful afternoon today. Expect a mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. It'll also feel less humid this afternoon. We're dry for today, but some showers redevelop overnight tonight. Those showers can impact your Friday morning commute. More rain, though, is possible Friday midday through the afternoon. Highs Friday in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. We're drier Saturday and Mother's Day Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Zach, I love it when you talk beautiful weather here in the foothills, and that's exactly what we are experiencing this morning. We're up to 53 degrees. Started out at 48, a little cooler this morning than yesterday morning start. Right now, though, we're at 53, climbing up real fast. We'll be up to 71 before you know it. And beautiful skies. It will be a little windy out there, wind gusting to about 11 miles per hour. Now, no rain in sight until maybe late Sunday night, early Monday morning, so we got the next few days to enjoy the great outdoors. So I'm glad that you have some time to do that. Got some other things to talk about this morning. Don't let me forget to remind you also that the Braves have an afternoon game today. They'll be starting at 4:05 with that first pitch, and we'll join them the pregame following Rush. Rush will be finishing up. His show will be finishing up at 3 o'clock, and we'll join the pregame talk after that. So it'll be an afternoon game in the beautiful sunshine. Hopefully, where they're playing it will be. My Great America with Jim and Butch, 9:05 this morning. That'll be another highlight of your morning, I feel sure. So don't leave too far from the radio. From my email bag, I don't go here very often like I used to. Have some email things to talk about. But I do like to go to my email bag once in a while. One of you sent this over to me. The light turned yellow just in front of him. He did the right thing, stopping at the crosswalk, even though he could have beaten the red light by accelerating through the intersection. The tailgating woman was furious and honked her horn, screaming in frustration as she missed her chance to get through the intersection, dropping her cell phone in her makeup. As she was still in mid-rant, she heard a tap on her window and looked up into the face of a very serious police officer. The officer ordered her to exit her car with her hands up. He took her to the police station where she was searched, fingerprinted, photographed, and placed in a holding cell. Well, after a couple of hours, a policeman approached the cell, opened the door. She was escorted back to the booking desk where the arresting officer was waiting with her personal effects. He said, "I'm very sorry for this mistake. You see, I pulled up behind your car while you were blowing your horn, flipping off the guy in front of you and cussing a blue streak at him. And I noticed the What Would Jesus Do bumper sticker, the Choose Life license plate. I noticed the What Would Jesus Do bumper sticker and Follow Me to Sunday School bumper sticker and the chrome-plated Christian fish emblem on the trunk, so naturally I assumed you had stolen the car." Yes. All right, let's get some other stuff. I thought that's pretty accurate sometimes, right? Well, a green light has been given to extend the 2020 presidential recount in Arizona. A lot of controversy over that. An audit of the 2020 presidential election results from Maricopa County, Arizona, which was one of the multiple states where Joe Biden won by a narrow margin, resulting in objections from lawmakers based on evidence of fraud, is likely to be extended. Originally, the audit being organized by Republicans in the state Senate was to have concluded around May 14th, as the process is being done at Veterans Memorial Coliseum. And that facility has multiple graduation ceremonies booked starting on that date and for a few days following. But now it has been revealed the process could continue after those events. The Washington Examiner reported that the process, which is to be hand recount and verify all 2.1 million ballots, had reached the 1 week mark, but Bennett did not estimate the number of ballots already reviewed or whether fraud has been discovered already. Initially, Bennett had estimated that the audit report would be released within 60 days of the launch of the review. The Senate, with a GOP majority, hired cyber ninjas of Florida to head the audit effort. The number of counters being used also is being expanded, so this week there are expected to be 46 counting tables, up from 20, with a total of 138 counters per shift. Also, the county election department said it was picking up some of the election machines that had been delivered to the audit under subpoena from the state Senate. As Bennett explained, an IT company had finished capturing forensic information for those units. Bennett went on to explain all this forensic data has been captured off of those machines, and now they'll move into Phase 2, which is analyzing that data. The Arizona Democratic Party and Maricopa County Supervisor Steve Gallardo, a Democrat, already have gone to court to try to suppress the work after the Senate obtained court permission for the audit. Well, I don't know if there's anything there or not, but why would they fight the recount if there's nothing there? Why say, don't go in that room. No. Everything's fine in there, but don't you go in that room. So why do they not want the recount if there's not something a little bit shady going on? It's like don't go in my don't go to that room but it's okay in there. There's nothing in there, but don't go in that room. We don't want IDs to vote But it's okay. We know there's no fraud out there, but we don't want anybody to have an ID to vote. We want to give you IDs for everything else. We don't want to give you IDs to vote because that's just not right. That's taking advantage of people. That's a racist move. That's a sexist move. We don't want you to have. But we know there's no fraud there. But we don't want you to have a ID. Well, there's a few good things happening out there in the real world. A Texas town has voted to declare itself a sanctuary city for the unborn. I like the sound of that. Republican State Representative Dustin Burrows said, quote, "Today is a victory for life and proof that the solid majority will still stand up for its Christian conservative values." Voters in Lubbock, Texas, have backed an ordinance that outlaws abortion within the city, which is likely to be challenged by a lawsuit over what opponents say is an unconstitutional ban. The unofficial vote, 62% for and 38% against, declared Lubbock a sanctuary city for the unborn. Do I hear a round of applause? You go, Lubbock. You go. A few folks out there still got a little backbone. But still, there are others. Breaking Christian News is reporting that a London pastor has been arrested for a sermon on marriage. He says, "I was only saying what the Bible says." Pastor John Sherwood, according to the Daily Mail, said, "I wasn't making any homophobic comments. I was just defining marriage as a relationship between a man and a woman. I was only saying what the Bible says. I wasn't wanting to hurt anyone or cause offense. I was doing what my job description says, which is to preach the gospel in open air as well as in a church building." Last week, though, he was arrested in London after he delivered a public sermon on the biblical definition of marriage out of Genesis 1. John Sherwood, who is 71, and the pastor of a North London church, was arrested April 23rd in the center of Uxbridge, London, under the Public Order Act for making alleged homophobic comments. Because he was preaching the Bible. That we've come to a low state in our world. That's in London. And some of the same things are happening in our great United States. We've come to a low state when the Bible is now homophobic. The Bible is hate speech. The Bible is racist. The Bible is sexist. The Bible is something you don't need to put your hands on because it's not what we want to follow. There are many places like that, and this is an example of how it is affecting people even in London, when a 71-year-old preacher was preaching the Bible and was arrested for it. You think it's not time to put on our battle gear? Meanwhile, another governor is standing up and being bold. Republican Governor Doug Ducey of Arizona vetoed a sex education bill intended to require parental consent for schools to teach LGBTQ issues Tuesday. The bill, SB 1456, would have prohibited an Arizona school district from teaching about sexuality, gender identity, HIV, and AIDS without parental consent, allow parents to opt children out of LGBTQ content if it contradicts their beliefs on sex, religion, and morality. Ducey wrote a veto letter saying the wording of the bill could lead to serious consequences regarding child abuse prevention. The language of the bill is overly broad and vague and could lead to serious consequences, he said. So he's issuing an executive order that seeks to encompass the heart of the bill and strengthens the parental choice and involvement. In fact, the executive order goes further than Senate Bill 1456, requiring more transparency for all sex education curriculum, mandating that schools post the curriculum online and that parents have the ability to review the materials and can make an informed decision before opting their child into sex education courses. So now the parents will know what's being taught, and they can remove their child if they so choose. The executive order requires new sex education courses to be accessible to the public 60 days before approval, conduct at least 2 public hearings about the courses in a 60-day period, allowing the public's feedback, and post the approved curriculum online for parents to view. So there you go. There you go, as they say. Meanwhile, you heard about over the weekend, I believe it was, maybe it's been a few days ago now, this gunman up in Boone that killed those folks and himself, 2 deputies and his mother and a stepfather. He killed himself, 2 deputies and his mother and stepfather in a 13-hour standoff in Boone. They found out he had a large cache of weapons and may have been contemplating a public attack, according to Sheriff Lynn Hageman of Watauga County. George Wyatt Ligon, 58, and his wife Michelle Ligon, 61, were killed Wednesday, and the shooting suspect, Isaac Alton Barnes, 32, died at the scene, according to Watauga County Sheriff's Office. Barnes was Michelle Ligon's son and George's stepson. Hageman said the family members were worried about the large number of weapons in his possession. There was familiar concern that he might try to do something, and he had evidently a fairly large cache of weapons, and he was at the house, which we didn't think he would be, but he was. Hageman said, I'm convinced that the attitude of the suspect was such that he was planning this not particularly at the officers, but possibly the public in general. The officers, they thought that they were going into a situation, and the perpetrator, the suspect, was there. Sergeant Chris Ward and K-9 Deputy Logan Fox, who handled a patrol dog, were dispatched to a home on Hardeman Circle there in Boone Wednesday morning after the homeowner, that'd be last Wednesday, homeowner and his family didn't report to work or answer telephone calls, so they did a call on them. Both deputies were hit by gunfire. Other officers were able to pull out Ward, who died at the hospital in Johnson City, Tennessee. Fox died at the scene. His body remained at the scene throughout the standoff, but it was unclear Thursday whether his body was inside or outside of the home. A Boone police officer also was hit by gunfire during that attempt to rescue the deputies, but was uninjured due to his protective equipment. Ward 36 was an 8-year veteran of law enforcement who was married with 2 children, the sheriff's officer said. Ward began his career at the Beach Mountain Police Department in 2013. Ward was later hired by the Watauga County Sheriff's Office, where he was promoted as a sergeant. He was a 2-year veteran. Fox was a 2-year veteran with the Watauga County Sheriff's Office. He handled a patrol dog, Raven. Fox also had worked as a deputy with the Ashe County Sheriff's Office. In a statement Wednesday, Hageman said the standoff was calamitous. This is an incredible, tragic situation, and our thoughts and prayers with everyone involved, as well as their families and their communities. That's why every day, folks, we need to pray for our law enforcement officers. We need to keep them at the top of our prayer list, those who go out on calls at any time of day or night, because they never know what they're getting into. They never know if they want to go home at night after they've done that. So it's very important that we respect them, pray for them, and make sure that we show them the honor and respect that they deserve. Officers, police officers, first responders, firefighters, I salute you today. This is your day to be honored. Speaking of today, by the way, I was about to forget this because I didn't get a whole lot of information on that. I usually do, and I usually have somebody here to talk about this. But today is a National Day of Prayer, and it'd be a good time to do that kind of praying for law enforcement. Assembling on the courthouse lawn at 12 o'clock today is a National Day of Prayer here for this county. It's been an ongoing annual thing for many years here in the county, and the National Day of Prayer across the nation. So if you want to attend, it's a non-denominational kind of thing. Just assemble there in the park or in the lawn, on the lawn there at the courthouse. This National Day of Prayer doesn't last very long, maybe 45 minutes. So assemble together. You're invited to come. I wish I could tell you more about it, but that's all I remember from a little text email I got the other day. But you're certainly welcome to come, and I hope you will, because there's certainly a lot of things to pray for, right? Well, as you know, the South Dakota Governor, Kristi Noem, is one who I highly respect because of her outstanding conservative credentials and her being bold enough to stand up to the woke crowd. She's wanting to have a fireworks display on July 4th around Mount Rushmore, and President Biden said, no, we're not going to let you do that. He's threatened to cancel Mount Rushmore 4th of July fireworks. So Governor Norm is fighting back. She filed a suit against the Biden administration on Friday for canceling the Mount Rushmore Independence Day fireworks display, demanding the court issue a permit for the event to take place now. Mount Rushmore is the very best place to celebrate America's birthday and all that makes our country special, Governor wrote. After telling us they'd circle back, the Biden administration has not responded to our request to uphold the memorandum agreement between the state of South Dakota and the National Park Service to host a safe and responsible national celebration and fireworks show. At issue is a legal memorandum between the government of South Dakota and the National Park Service giving the state permission to hold the event on park grounds. By canceling the event, the administration departed from long-standing precedent and reneged on this agreement without any meaningful explanation. So the National Park Service notified South Dakota of its decision to ban the fireworks display last month, citing concerns that COVID-19 tribal objections and alleged danger on the park itself. Well, NPS Regional Director Herbert Frost wrote to South Dakota's Tourism Office in March, citing potential risk to the park itself and to the health and safety of employees and visitors associated with the fireworks demonstration, saying that they continue to be a concern and are still being evaluated as a result of the 2020 event. Now, folks, how many fireworks are there across the nation that are professionally handled and they're worried about some safety? I mean, come on. It's not a bunch of Boy Scouts or kids setting fireworks. These are professional folks that do these things. Frost said, in addition, the park's many tribal partners expressly oppose fireworks at the memorial. Well, if the Native Americans don't want fireworks, that settles it then, right? What does the support or opposition of one interest group have to do with public health concerns anyway? Governor says the fireworks event last year did not lead to a single case of COVID. The state was unable to track a single case to the Independence Day fireworks. Last year, the nation was under a near total lockdown on July 4th, and the event was held very safely. This year, the country will be fully open for business, and most of those who want to be vaccinated will be vaccinated. It's hard not to see the vindictiveness in the administration's refusal to allow a July 4th celebration at Mount Rushmore. She's Republican, they're Democrats. She's conservative, they're liberal. I want to do fireworks at Mount Rushmore in my state. No, you can't do that. Folks might like it. No. We're not going to allow you to do that. We're going to find some excuse why you can't do that. We'll see how that works out. She has sued them. We'll see if that's going to work out. It's a few weeks yet till July 4th. It's 8:47 here on this Thursday morning edition of the Morning Wake Up Call. My name's Bishop. Jim Bishop.
What do the days of the week, the seas, and the colors in a rainbow have in common? Did you guess the number 7? There's no denying 7's power. It's elemental. Unlock that power with new 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery with over $160 million in total prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.12 to 4.88. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Get the most out of your tax refund with Bark Mobile's Refund Rack-Up event. Come in this tax season and get a great smartphone at a price you can't beat. Absolutely free. That's right. Get the popular LG Stylo 6 or LG K51 for free when you switch to Bark Mobile. Then rack up even more savings with unlimited data for $45 a month with AutoPay and take your tax refund to the max. Visit a store today to get the most with Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
Here's some news for those of you who might need to know this, and most of the funeral homes already know this, but in case you have not heard about this, hundreds of thousands of people across the nation have died of COVID-19, leaving behind bereaved friends and relatives. In addition to coping with a loved one's death, you and your family may find yourself worrying about covering their funeral expense. Financial help is now available to families that need help paying the funeral costs of a relative who has died as a result of COVID-19. You could receive up to $35,500 from FEMA COVID-19 Funeral Program. That's something you may want to search out if you have a family member that died from COVID. You can receive up to $35,500 through FEMA to cover a variety of funeral-related expenses. Before speaking to a FEMA representative over the phone to get your application started, learn more about the program's eligibility requirements and find out what documentations you may need to provide. You can also get additional resources, including a helpful video to see how the program works. You can go to US.gov and search that out, or you can contact your favorite funeral home, and all of them, I'm sure, have the information on that. So if that's something that might be helpful to you, if you're struggling to pay the funeral bill of someone of your family member that's died of COVID, that might be a way that, FEMA's got the money there for you. Just search that out. I don't have all the details, like it's too laborious for me to get into it sentence by sentence, but just contact your local funeral home, and they'll help you with that. One other story, and I got to get out of here and make room for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Butch is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I mentioned the National Day of Prayer is a vital part of our heritage. Since the first call to prayer in 1775, when the Continental Congress asked the colonies to pray for wisdom in forming a nation, the call to prayer has continued through our history, including President Lincoln's proclamation of a day of humiliation, fasting, and prayer in 1863. But for the first time in 70 years, the National Day of Prayer observance will not happen on Capitol Hill. For the first time in 70 years, ladies and gentlemen, the National Day of Prayer will not happen on Capitol Hill. But barricades, security, and politics in Washington, D.C. cannot stop Americans from observing this day and praying for our nation, because folks are going to assemble all over the country, including right here in Rutherford County, at our courthouse, to pray for our needs in America. There are several ways you can participate. First, we encourage you to join the National Day of Prayer webcast at 12:15. Go to National Day of Prayer, and you'll find it. Second, many of the people who you know who celebrate the National Day of Prayer may be encouraged to know that praying for the nation is something the International Day of Prayer folks, intercessors, do year round. It's more than just a day. And third, you can stay on top of what is happening in our state with Pray for America's Leaders' new legislative updates. We encourage you to join us today at the National Day of Prayer on the lawn at the courthouse in Rutherfordton, or wherever you might be at that time. Or if you can't get there, just pause for a moment during that time. It's nothing sacred about noon on this day, but it's just a time that's been set aside, but you can make the most of the National Day of Prayer today, and hope indeed that you will. All right, 8:53. That means the big hand is on 7 and the little hand's on 9. And Mickey Mouse is just spinning around and around. My Great America with Jim and Butch, 9:05 this morning. I'm going to move on out of here and clear things out to make room for that. And I'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning. I do have a special guest tomorrow morning. Taylor Grace is going to be my guest live in the studio. She's the actress that's been in several films and creating another film. And she's from right here in our county, and we'll be talking with her about her a journey of being an actress, producing and directing, and what her goals are with this new film that she's creating. Taylor Grace, my guest tomorrow morning at 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. I hope you'll join me for that and all the rest of the things we do right here in the Blue Room every morning on the Morning Wake Up Call.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are 2 ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time, and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
What's the
past the hour here on WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Another sign of a rebounding economy and a slowing pandemic. The Labor Department has released last week's unemployment numbers, lower than the week before. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
The pace of layoffs has slowed considerably since the onset of the pandemic, and the number of weekly jobless claims has dropped below 500,000 for the first time since the virus took root in the United States. More than 40% of American adults are now fully vaccinated, and so they feel more comfortable eating out and traveling. The once struggling service industries are starting to stabilize.
President Biden says infrastructure and his infrastructure program will get people working again.
President Biden today continues his Getting America Back on Track tour with a trip to Louisiana. The president travels to the reliably Republican state to challenge GOP lawmakers who are pushing back on Biden's plan to pay for his infrastructure and family plans by raising taxes on corporations and wealthy Americans. The president will visit a 70-year-old bridge in Lake Charles, Louisiana that is 20 years past its design lifespan to make the point that investments in infrastructure are urgent and necessary. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Congresswoman Liz Cheney, the third highest-ranking Republican in the House, close to losing her leadership position because she won't go along with claims that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump.
She penned this op-ed in the Washington Post warning that the Republican Party has now reached a turning point and that it must decide whether it's going to stand by former President Donald Trump and his false claims about the 2020 election or choose truth and the Constitution.
That's ABC congressional correspondent Rachel Scott. The European Union siding with the U.S. when it comes to the debate over waiving patent rights for vaccine makers so countries can get shots. The CDC predicting there could be a sharp decline in COVID cases by July because people continue getting vaccinated. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis just now signing the new voting rules into law. Critics say it'll harm minority and disabled voters. You're listening to ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Under arrest now in Colorado, the husband of a woman missing since last Mother's Day, Barry Morphew, is charged with murder. Here's ABC's TJ Holmes.
For weeks, search and rescue teams scoured the area. According to her family, the only sign of her was her bike and an unspecified personal item. And though her body has not been recovered, the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office says she is believed to be dead, and there are no other arrests expected.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in the middle of a corruption trial, now has to sit back and wait and see if his political rivals can accomplish what he failed to do, put together a government.
Centrist Yair Lapid has 4 weeks to form the next Israeli government, what would end Prime Minister Netanyahu's more than 12 years in power. His success depends mostly on 3 right-wing parties that abandoned Netanyahu, largely due to his corruption trial. Lapid looking to carve out a deal that empowers conservatives without alienating the left. To that end, he's offering the post of Prime Minister first to right-wing leader Naftali Bennett for 2 years and saving top ministry posts for centrist and left-wing parties. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Google is setting up new work-from-home rules. Employees there will, on average, spend 3 days a week in the office and the other 2 days a week working wherever they want. About 20% of the company's employees will continue to work from home full-time. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts recommend all the best products to get the job done right. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil on sale now just $28.95. And we'll make sure you have all the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. We are going to see a beautiful afternoon today. Expect a mostly sunny sky with highs in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. It'll also feel less humid this afternoon. We're dry for today, but some showers redevelop overnight tonight. Those showers can impact your Friday morning commute. More rain, though, is possible Friday midday through the afternoon. Highs Friday in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. We're drier Saturday and Mother's Day Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
57 degrees currently. We've been warming up pretty fast. It will be up to our daytime high today. Expectations of 71 under sunny skies.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch.
How are you, Jim?
Welcome back to the Blue Room.
I missed you.
I miss you too.
I missed you. I miss our flow. I miss our opportunities to talk about what's great about this nation. I will give one public service announcement.
Okay.
If you find yourself out in the sun, wear sunscreen. Wear sunscreen. I mean that not in a loose way. I got out there on the end of a deck, and I was making phone calls for a couple of hours, and when I went back inside, I looked at myself and said, "I'm home back now to good sense and reason, Butch."
Yeah.
So make sure that you do that.
Easy to forget that, though, when you're out.
It's easy to forget. You know, it's easy to forget a lot of things. It's easy to forget the foundation of this nation. And today, for National Day of Prayer, make sure, as Jim just invoked you to do earlier, make sure that you take time to remember again God, you know, the author and the finisher of our faith, and the one who has promised us that if we cry out to him, he will hear us. Now, you know, every time that we're on the program together, we try to make sure that we point attention back to Scripture, because we know this is not some political pundit, this is not some poll, it's not some editorial in the New York Times. This is God's infallible, unshakable, inspired word. And there was a story that I read this morning, and a verse that's very familiar to us, but I want to give a little bit of the context. It's in 2 Chronicles, and it's in chapter 7 and verse 11. It says, "And so Solomon finished the house, the temple of the Lord, and the palace of the king. He had successfully accomplished all that he had planned to do in the house of the Lord and in his palace. Then the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said to him, I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself as a house of sacrifice. If I shut up the heavens so that no rain falls, or if I command locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence and plague among my people." And then here's the verse that we quote, not remembering the preamble. "If I do this, and my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek," that is, crave, require as a necessity my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. God's promises are so powerful, but they're conditional, Jim.
They're conditional.
The then is preceded by the if. And if my people will humble themselves, if my people will pray, then God will hear our cries and heal our land. So we got to make sure that we're holding our end of that, not bargain, but of that proposition that God's given us.
You know, throughout the scriptures, I've never noticed any scripture verse where Jesus was talking to his people, where he told them just to sit down and do nothing. He always has asked them to follow me, or go catch fishers of men, or come down out of a tree. He never said, just sit there and I'll take care of you. He called us to action.
Right. Right, the life of faith, and certainly for people that are in, Jim, what is that noise?
I'm sorry about that. That's the EAS, which we're required to have in case of a national emergency, and that is a test they do periodically to make sure that our EAS monitor is working appropriately.
Okay, folks, if you can't hear it, And by the way, this is a great segue here. It sounds like cicadas, and we're on the front edges of every 17 years the cicadas come out. They don't know why. We talked about that last time.
Right.
That's what it sounds. Well, it sounds like we got some cicadas in the equipment.
It does sound that way. Sure does.
And now
it'll stop in a few seconds.
It will. Okay.
And it's printing out a little piece of paper. Lets me know that all of the Western North Carolina radio stations are being sent this from the National Emergency Center in Washington, D.C. And if there's a weather storm developing, they'll send us that notice, let us know that the weather conditions are being affected all over Western North Carolina.
Folks, I just want to let you know it's invariable. I've been to school all my life, but there's no school like WCAB, and I hope they give me a certificate someday.
We'll let you graduate.
Okay, you'll let me graduate. Well, I do have a question while we're on it.
Yes.
Jim, I walked in the door, and I looked down, and there was a bag filled with this. If I'm reading this correctly, it says crime scene, do not cross. This is not a prop. I found this in the waiting area for WCAB. Do tell. Just give me a nutshell of what happened.
Well, I could tell you, Butch, but
okay, don't go there. So what?
Actually, I'll tell you. If folks need to know that where my transmitter and tower is located. You've been out there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was one of our adventures where I felt like I was on a safari.
Yes.
With you. Yeah.
It's an area out there, and the folks who own the property, who I rent the space from, has allowed some guys to come in and cut down trees. They've been driving trucks over my ground system. And my ground wire system, it has to be 250 feet away from, as tall as the tower is, it has to be stretched out 250 feet under the ground.
Right.
That's part of the
right.
It's in the signal. Well, they've been driving the trucks over that, and it's been affecting my signal for ever since it's been happening. So I got that tape to put around the base of the tower, base of the guy wires, which stretches out from the tower out to the field. And so they'll know not to drive through there anymore, because every time they drive over the ground system, it's worn down to the point now. It just happens. It has nothing to do with crime. It's just that I needed something, and
well, that's pretty imposing when you see crime scene. Do not cross. That certainly makes the point.
I hope they will understand that there's a way to get around that without driving right through the base of my tower.
Well, back to the principle. Back to the principle. God's promises are real. They're true. They're unshakable. But they are conditioned on our obedience. And so today for the National Day of Prayer, and we'll pray right at the end of our time together. Today for the National Day of Prayer, pray for our nation. Pray that we'll get back to the anchoring points of what made this nation great. Pray that truth will be illuminated. Pray that every dark deed that's done by anyone will be exposed to the light. Pray that the hearts of people will be changed. It says in Scripture, the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord, and like rivers of water, he turns it however he will. Pray that the waters of God's righteousness will cover the land once again, and that we will be his people, and he will be our God, and we will do what he directs us to do. We've been through dark times as a nation, but you know what, Jim? It's a time not for discouragement and despair. It's a time for hope.
Yes, it is hope. There is hope. There's still hope, and we just got to hang in there.
And we need to remember that God is not the author of confusion. If you're in the middle of a personal situation that's confusing, or as a nation we feel confused, we can be certain that's not God who's the author. It's the evil one. Now, you know what? 100 years ago, Jim, we had a nation and there were things going on. You want to know a couple of things that were happening? It's kind of interesting.
I do.
Sure. So on May 19th, President Harding signed the nation's first generally restricted immigration act. It introduced a quota system for the first time that restricted immigration to 3% of the number of each nationality reported in the census of 1910. Total immigration was capped at 357,000 people, and the legislation at the time was kind of viewed as an acute xenophobia, where people were saying we don't want too many of them coming in. So the roots of our immigration discussions go back well over 100 years. And then on a more positive note, in 1921, the African-American agricultural scientist George Washington Carver, we've talked about him before, appeared before Congress to present the many uses of the peanut. You know what? Don't you miss the days where Congress actually talked about something that was worthwhile?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, he talked about the many uses of the peanut. Get you to imagine him. Here you have this stately African-American brilliant inventor and scientist, somebody that was humble before God, standing before Congress. You know what he did? This is what he did. He described all the different uses of the peanut, included among that was peanut butter, which he invented. And the sweet potato. In his long career, Carver developed peanut and sweet potato-based lubricants, plastic products, dyes, pharmaceuticals, inks, wood stains, cosmetics, as well as tapioca and molasses substitutes. Carver's work not only created a host of new American industries, but also rescued many Southern farmers, black and white, from the economic instability and outright poverty born of exclusive reliance on cotton, though Carver also creates the highly successful Carver's Hybrid, a sturdy cross between short and long-haired cotton. He was absolutely brilliant, and he made it clear everything he knew came from on high.
He did.
Every single idea. He said he went to God and said, God, what can I do with this peanut? And you know what? In the spirit of John 5:30, which we talk about often and talk about every week in my church, Word of Faith Fellowship, the reality is if we inquire of God with the right heart, he will speak to us, Jim. He'll speak to us. He'll help us. He'll direct us in the ways that we should go. Now, one of the ways that you should go today, if you can, is to the Republican Party headquarters tonight. And why is that?
Is it tonight?
Yes.
I'm saying it's Friday night.
Is it Friday? Oh, it's Friday. Forgive me. It is Friday. That's why we need a team. It's Friday night. It's
Friday
not tonight.
night, yeah.
Yes. Friday night. So tomorrow, Jim, what's happening?
Tomorrow night, actually, they're on the road today, going down to...
Theo and Roger went down to get what?
The onions.
I understand it's not Vidalia. You have to say Vidalia.
Vidalia.
Is that right?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I learned something here this morning.
Jim, I come to you for help with these things. Vidalia. I was told it's kind of you pronounce.
Yeah. Maybe that's the Georgia way of pronouncing it.
Okay, so tomorrow night, what's going to be happening?
They're bringing the onions back in tonight, late tonight. It's a long trip there and back, but they'll bring in tomorrow from, I think, 9 o'clock until tomorrow night. They'll have a Vidalia onion party.
Right.
Where folks that come pick their onions up, or they'll be delivered to those folks who ordered it. There'll be an ice cream social going on all day long.
Friday, not Thursday.
Friday night.
Tomorrow night.
That's right. But Congress Lady Virginia Fox is going to be there, and there's a representative from
Madison Cawthorn's office at 145.
Yes. So there'll be people in and out all day long, and it's a fun thing to do. And we've never had this kind of exuberance with an onion sale. As a matter of fact, they doubled anything ever so, more than doubled.
It's more, as I understand it, more than 7,000 pounds of Vidalia onions. And here's another word that I've learned. It's Roger and Theo that went down there to get them. And you know what you would refer to the two of them as?
No.
Both of them. Both of them.
Both of them.
And I was asking Todd, now how do you spell that? It's like BOFFAMUM. Both of them.
Both of them. Both of them.
Yeah, you have to know that a tongue that's been so used to enunciating very clearly, I find myself sometimes saying, you know what, I'll get it, and it's not like I'm wanting to be pretentious, but I do want to fit in with the place that's going to be my home the rest of my life. Jim, I even know where I'm going to be buried someday. This will be where I am. So this is my home. This is my fellowship. This is my church. This is my community, and it's one that we certainly want to make better. Well, in the spirit of onions, and
Rutherford County is better off your being here.
Thank you, Jim. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. You know what? It's not because I'm emotional. It's because I'm grateful. But there is rarely a day that goes by that I don't weep, knowing what God has brought me from, and what God is bringing me to. And the steadfast love of God never ceases. And if we let God's love and the illuminating power of his desire for us to live rigidly righteous lives, if we let that take root in us, life can change. I was thinking it was actually in 2010, so it would have been 11 years ago. This week, I was going to do a keynote at the Direct Marketing Association. I had a limo that picked me up at my house and where I was living, and that whole lifestyle of being on the road all the time and being under the pressure of having to perform and be brilliant in your own strength, or at least that's what people were paying you for. You know, there was a day, Jim, where, I say this with humility, I think my billable hour rate was like $569 an hour. I wouldn't get on an airplane unless somebody paid $4,000 or $5,000 for the day in a first-class ticket, and none of that is in me anymore. That never really mattered to me back then, but even more so today. You can't know. I mean, the drama and dilemmas of that sewage spill that happened here on Telegraph Avenue that created such a situation for people. I love being part of hometowns where we all deal with things together, and there's a modesty and a respect and a humility in living life where you just get up every day and you say, Jesus, I know I have things in me that need to change. Would you show me what those things are? Would you bring people across my path? Would you help me to be a little bit of a blessing so I can reach into my seed bag and throw some seeds of encouragement to people today? Because life, Jim, is short.
Yes.
And what we do with it, our time, our talent, and our treasure every single day matters for eternity. So when I walk through the doors here to this little enclave, this little hovel, this little igloo during the winter called WCAB, it's always with a sense of I'm going to see friends. We bear burdens together, we encourage each other, we love each other, and then we try to distribute that out into the community.
Well said.
Great. You know, when you nod your head, it gives me joy too. Jim, when you nod your head, it gives me joy.
Radio audience can't see that nod.
No, but he does. He's very encouraging. For those of you that haven't met Jim Bishop, if you see him in a food line, you'll know him if you're looking at him now. Go give him some encouragement. He's such an encouragement to so many people every day. Well, you know what? There are people that tell me they love history, and I was saying, okay, God, how do we weave together? How do we weave together onions, our focus on onions, and history, and being encouraging? And this was an article that was really good. And actually, I need to say that Sandra Norris, a dear friend of mine, and yours, tipped me off to this. Listen to this. General Ulysses S. Grant declared in an 1864 advisory to the federal government, I will not move my army without my onions. I will not move my army without my onions. And General Robert E. Lee commented, he was on the other side, I have been up to see the Congress, and they do not seem to be able to do anything except eat peanuts and chew tobacco while my army is starving. One of Lee's colonels stated in 1863, I cannot fight more until I get something to cook in. And the onions which Grant demanded, he immediately was sent 3 train car loads of the tasty bulbs, were appreciated by soldiers for both their flavor and antiseptic properties when used to treat powder burns. It was Napoleon who stated that an army marches on its stomach. An assertion that has been quoted in the media as U.S. officers in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm talked about the ravenous hunger of the captured and deserting Iraqis. As much as the A-10s that were coming in and the tanks that were coming in, the M1 Abrams tanks, they said the hungry stomachs were one of the major things that were causing the Iraqis during Desert Storm to defect. Napoleon so firmly believed his own adage that he offered the equivalent of a modern $250,000 prize for the discovery of a way to get better food to the French army. Nicholas Appert, a confectioner, won the prize in 1795 by discovering the process of hermetically sealing food. In 1810, a patent was taken out in England for Appert's method, and soon the idea spread to America, where lobster and salmon were the first foods canned. In 1823, an American, Thomas Kensett, invented the tin can. By the 1860s, many foods were being canned, and the Northern Army utilized this advantage militarily. The South, however, suffered drastic food shortages as the Civil War oozed on. And so it talks about in history how the North created a blockade, and that blockade was in large measure part of the reason that the North won the war. Now, what was interesting, though, is they said salt, sugar, wheat flour, coffee, tea, and many other staple foods were quite scarce. Ingenious substitutes were being tried. Parched wheat, rye, corn, peanuts, acorns, sweet potatoes, persimmon, okra, and watermelon seeds were being made into fake coffee. All those things that I mentioned were being made into fake. Sassafras roots and holly, orange, sage, and blackberry leaves masqueraded as tea. And maypops and pomegranates were turned into lemonade. Vinegar was made into apple cider, molasses, honey, and persimmons, figs May-apples and beets, and corn, potatoes, sassafras, persimmons, spruce or pine needles were used for all different kinds of food substitutes. One tired-out Mississippian wrote home about his longing for a pleasant house, a carriage, and other niceties after the war, but he added, having plenty of good things to eat is worth every fight that I'm in. So you know what, and we know that onions have been on the menu for over 5,000 years. There are records in archaeology of the power of onions. So in our little community here in Rutherford County, the Republican Party has that as a fundraiser, and we've sold over 7,000 pounds.
We're promoting good health.
And we're promoting good health because onions are, in fact, good for you.
They'll help you sleep at night. Good.
And I understand from some of the reading that I did from the Mayo Health Clinic letter that onions have also been shown to help with hypertension, with blood pressure. And as I said, they used, I guess, onion poultices for powder burns for people that were shot. So you know what, God did a great job, and He's given us all that we need in our hands for every requirement that we have in life. So folks, if you will, go down to the Republican Party headquarters tomorrow, and during the day, I think it's going to be manned. They're going to have special deals on some of the hats and shirts and buttons and bumper stickers and other items. So arm yourselves with the accoutrements. Accoutrements, Jim.
I like that word.
Okay, accoutrements. I believe it's a French derivative, but the accoutrements of our battle to make a difference. And the I know under Bryson Smith's chairmanship and the others that are in leadership, they really want to make the Republican Party headquarters a life-giving place for the community, and one that's for all people to come and be encouraged and know you can be equipped and empowered for the fights ahead of us.
It's right downtown. You can't miss it. Flags flying out there and a sign up above the doors. And they've ordered extra, I believe, for folks who didn't order. There won't be many of those, but if you didn't place an order, just stop by, see if they have any left over.
Right, exactly. And you know what, folks, the other thing that's really important is, in a way that's appropriate, we want to take pride in our community. It struck me, I was watching the other day as somebody threw a bag of McDonald's trash out of their car. And it's simple little things that reflect matters of the heart. And so when you walk down a street, if you see some litter, pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's not somebody else's responsibility. I remember my mother was so fastidious about and so detailed about the way we even put our clothes in the hamper. I need to get back to some of those early lessons, Jim, that I learned. She put up, by the way, a list of the 7 things that we needed to do before we went to school every day, and she put it on the bathroom door. And I look back on that. I'm grateful for that, for that structure. And even in our church, we teach the children that playing and having the opportunity to do things that are fun is predicated on obedience. And if we don't build in those lessons early, you know what happens to children that are put in an environment where there's no discipline, there's no consequence for their action, there is no sense that there's a God in the universe or scriptures that guide our life. You know what happens to people that grow up without those things?
Turns into a society that we have today.
They become politicians.
That's true.
They become politicians where truth falls in the street. The whole notion of right and wrong becomes flexible. Right now we're in an environment as a nation. We're going to pray here in just a minute because our time's quickly eclipsed from us. We become a nation that I call good Lord, good devil. Whatever's good for you is fine. And that isn't right. That's not the way countries last. That's not the way people thrive. And so today on the National Day of Prayer, May 6th, Jim, let's go ahead and spend the balance of our time praying, if that's okay. And so if you're of an inclination to do it, and even if you're not, let's pause before the God of the universe and pray as we end today's My Great America with Jim and Butch. Living God, we are so grateful that you promised us we can come humbly but boldly into your presence, and we come appealing for our country. Jesus, we have pulled up the tent stakes. We have moved the ancient markers. We've been loose and reckless as a nation. The cries of 62.5 or more million babies that have been aborted in this country out of convenience and out of reckless laws that came out of a Supreme Court decision. God, the redefining of all of the things you put in Scripture about relationships and roles and marriage and gender. God, our preoccupation with all of the things that are so self-indulgent, you know, the addictions that have just plagued this nation. God, all of these things are a stench before you, and yet you promised us that if your people, who are those that are in churches, those who claim to know you, those who claim to be born again, if your people will humble themselves, cry out and pray, you'll hear from us, and you will change these wicked ways and heal our land. Heal our land, Jesus. We need the balm of Gilead on a nation that still is a bright and shining hill to the world, but that light will be tarnished by our transgressions unless we take hold of the reality we have got to walk in your ways. Teach us to walk in your ways. Give us the strength, give us the courage, give us the wisdom, and help us beyond all things to reflect love as we direct people to you. For I pray it in your holy name today, Jesus. Amen.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.